They whitewashed history, told you lies, and now they're being exposed. Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the sincere believers, the hopefully elect of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai out there listening and learning, laboring in His truth in all diligence, righteousness, and sincerity, occupying in the prophecies until our Lord Yahweh Shai come and deliver us. So it's the brother Azariah back with another lesson, just going into some history and through the spirit, some things that are about to be revealed on the world stage in a very short time. See, right now, the Lord, He's exposing the wicked. He's bringing all the things that were once hidden now to the light. And the most important thing that the Lord is doing is He's bringing to the light the true identity of His people. You see? And all over the earth, there's a spirit, especially that have been put on certain people, but also in a very short time, there's going to be a spirit put on certain nations to reveal what has been hidden by the Western agenda. So I want to play two videos, and I have some sources and articles as well that we'll get into just to show you how deep the rabbit hole goes when it comes to the blatant whitewashing of history and the distortion of the true narrative. So we'll play this video real quick and get back to it.
Icons dating back to the 14th century brought together from private collections across Russia.
It's very beautiful. It gives you goose pimples. It's a
Now, real quick, this is in Russia, and you have art, iconography images that are called the Russian icons. And these things are ancient. They date back to the Middle Ages. And it shows you not the whitewashed, pale skin images that they show you in mainstream, films and documents, because there was a time during the Renaissance where they actually took these images and whited them out, painted over them, bleached them so that they can appear to be white people. And once again, this was done to control the narrative, all right? Because for Esau, that's what I mean when I say the they, okay, Esau is the they. But in order for them to justify themselves doing what they did to us, they had to control the narrative, which that means beating our heritage out of us, removing the landmarks, giving us a false identity, giving us different names. See, all these things entail the distortion of true history, which the Edomites have pushed throughout the whole of the planet Earth. See, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord didn't allow all of the evidence to be destroyed. There's still a wealth of evidence, especially that's in the basement catacombs of the Vatican, that's in Russia, that's in Ethiopia, that shows you the true, or should I say the more accurate depiction of the characters in the Bible. Okay, so this is what you're looking at right now. Let's continue.
remarkable exhibition.
It's an exhibition which feeds the senses. Everything is so grey outside at the moment, and here suddenly it's a feast for the eyes.
And it's a feast that marks 100 years since religious icons started to be recognised as works of art. Before then, they were mainly viewed as religious objects, often left blackened over the centuries by the passage of time and added layers of paint.
And that's false, all right? The Russians are not saying that. This is what the Western media, this is why you have to pay attention to what these people say. Because this is not what the Russians themselves are saying. This is what the Western propagandized media is pushing to the world. That, over time, these images darken, and this is why the icons are dark in these images. Well, no, that's not the case. See, these icons were painted and depicted these ways deliberately because this is the truth of the Holy Scriptures, okay? This is the truth of who the true Israelites are, all right? Dark-skinned people, you see? Now, of course, among the Israelites, you have many different shades of brown, okay? Because we're not black, we're different shades of brown, right? So you have You know, you'll have Israelites that are very light on the spectrum, and then you'll have Israelites that are very dark on the spectrum. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about our people, that we have so much variation, you know, in between our tribes. You know, but this is what the Western media push. They'll tell you, oh, over time these things darken. Where there's, you know, the Russians will not tell you this. Okay, they understand because you know they have the scriptures as well. You know, going way back. You know, so they know the truth. So I just wanted to make that quick disclaimer real quick. You know, because they'll, you know, these devils, man, they'll try to throw a monkey wrench in there and try to throw off the whole thing. But let's continue.
Научились снимать эти поздние записи.
When we learned how to remove the dark layers, when we learned how to remove the dark layers, when we learned how to remove the dark layers, we discovered underneath an overwhelming beauty, to such an extent that it shocked André Matisse, who was in Moscow at the time. He said, it's here that artists should come to learn to paint, not to Italy.
Учиться живописи, а не в Италию совсем.
But today, only a small number of these masterpieces remain. Most were destroyed during the Soviet era.
То есть это спасено.
These icons are the survivors. If museums hadn't saved them, they wouldn't exist today. There are 50,000 icons in Russian museums. Before, there were millions.
Миллионы.
But now the future of this part of Russian heritage is up for debate. Are the icons best held by museums, or should they be returned to the country's churches?
And mind you, right,
dark
these were, you know, these icons are part of private collections, and also they're part of the, you know, Orthodox churches that are in Russia. So this is where these paintings were found, and they told you that a lot of the Russian icons, a lot of these images, they were destroyed during the Soviet era. All right, and mainly because, you know, once the Soviets came in, you know, they weren't really you know, big on religion like that. You know, so a lot of the religious art that existed during the Middle Ages, such as these, a lot of them were destroyed. But again, you know, the Lord preserved some of these images still to see to this day, you know, as a witness against the Edomites that tried to distort, well, that did distort and push a false narrative of history. But this is, you know, and again, this was prophesied to happen. This is the book of 1 Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So if they did this with the Holy Scriptures, how much more or how much less secular history? And we'll get to that because I got some things on that as well. But the point is, the Edomite has whitewashed history to favor their rulership, to favor their supremacy. You know, that's the point. And you know, it's actually, you know, their whitewashing was actually so profound to the point where even some of the other nations, you know, once they saw the you know, white image, which is of a, you know, Caesar Borgia, right, or Cesare, you know what I'm saying? Once they saw that image, they were like, "What is this?" You know, this you know, this is not how the Messiah looked. You see, so you know, that's how profound that this deception was. But we're in a day and time now where knowledge has greatly increased, and all of the lies that these devils push is now falling back on them, and you know, now they're having to double back. You know, now they're having to give an explanation as to why they did these things, and this is causing great shame to come upon the glory of the Edomite. You see, Luke 8:17, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. So right now, the Lord, he's revealing all of the dirty secrets that these Edomites have kept swept under the rug for hundreds of years, because this is the time of the judgment. You know, this is the time for Esau, Edom, to be judged. You know, but before he's judged, he must be revealed in his time, which is now. And he's being revealed as the devil, okay, which devil just means deceiver. And he is deceived. Esau has deceived the whole earth. He's pushed false narrative. He's pushed false images. Everything that he's pushed. Esau's whole setup is based on falsehood. It's all based on lies. And that's why it tells you in, I believe that's what, Jeremiah 11 or Jeremiah 12, that the heathen shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and proclaim that our fathers have inherited us lies and things wherein there is no prophet. Okay, because everything is going to come out. The Lord is going to reveal everything. Everything is just set to be revealed in its appointed time. All right, we can also go here real quick. Which again, we don't need these things to validate what we believe, but these things substantiate and actually confirm what we're saying is true. Because there was a time when the men of the Lord, he said, "Oh, you're bugged out. You're conspiracy theorist, or you're this and that." But we're being justified more and more every day that goes by.
If they know that the black people are the real Jews, do y'all know that?
Yeah, black people are the real Jews. Yeah.
So, because a lot, we don't know. They're not telling us.
No, because they whitewash the whole thing down to make you believe that the blacks were,
And see, these other nations, they come here, whether they come from India, they come from China, they come from all over the world, right? Because you have to keep in mind that in the East, of course, Esau did push that deception all around the earth, but more so in the East, they have their records. You know what I'm saying? They have the records of what happened to Jerusalem in 70 AD, because we had dealings with the other nations. Prior to us being taken down by the Romans, we had dealings with them. We used to trade, certain things with these nations back and forth. So they already understand what happened to us as a people. They understood that 70 AD, the Romans, of course, the word got out, that Jerusalem had been sacked, and that the Israelites, they fled into Africa, okay, because we were refugees in Africa. What I'm saying? That's not our homeland. The Israelites always fled into Africa because we could blend in. But the other nations know this. You see, they already know.
Of no significance. So.
And where are you from?
I'm from India.
From India. See, I keep telling y'all, people overseas know who we are. I keep telling y'all, but y'all don't want to believe me. They don't want to believe me. Whatever.
So all these nations, they know who you are, Jake, and this is what we try to tell our people. But because you've been here in America for so long, you've been so far removed from your heritage, you just, some of our people, mainly the 2/3, they just can't get it through their minds that they are the Lord's people. Because look at the condition of our people. We're downtrodden, we're poor, we don't have anything. We don't really have heritage, to look back on and be proud about. But coming back to this truth, coming back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, we have now come back to our true identity and our true heritage. You see? And the other nations, they've always known this, and some of them do come here and they see Jake in such a low condition, and they're like, these can't be the people of the Most High, These can't be the people, because look at how they behave, They see Jake gang banging and, committing all type of crime and all type of stuff. And then that, again, the Western propaganda machine, pushes a very negative image of our people to the other nations. So they come here and they pretty much just get down with the program. They don't tell Jake who they are, because a lot of the time they don't even know that we don't know. They don't know that we don't know who we are. You know what I'm saying? Because they see us calling ourselves black and African American, they kind of get a funny look, like, you're a Jew. Why are you calling yourself African American and black and all these things? So a lot of them don't even know that we don't know who we are. You know, because they don't really know the extent of damage that the Edomite did to us. You know, removing our heritage, beating it out of us. You know, they don't really know that all that went on. You know, they just know that we was taken as slaves here, and you know, all of what happened. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know that we lost our identity. You know, this is let me get Romans 9:26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. Okay, so where was it that we were not called the Lord's people? Right here in the land of America, and to all the places that we've been scattered across the earth, you know. But it's prophesied that in you know, this prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak, that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. So these nations are going to confess, okay? And make no doubt about it, the Lord is going to put a spirit on the leaders of these nations to also proclaim his truth before it's all said and done. All right, because the true people of the Lord must be revealed before the destruction comes and the end of this age. You see? So I also want to get some of these because, you know, this is just information, you know, going into the further whitewashing of history, man. Okay, so of course, you know, brothers bring it out, you know, Elder Malcolm goes into it a lot, but going into how during the Dark Ages, the so-called Middle Ages, you know, Jakes were ruling over Europe, okay, and at that time, we were known as the Moors, you see. So a lot of contemporary images that you'll see of whether it be King Henry the Eighth, Queen Elizabeth, you know, all these images were whitewashed, okay, to further, you know, add to that you know, white supremacy narrative, man, you know. And the information is out there, and the thing is, in order to get this information, because a lot of this stuff you're not going to find on the internet, but they are in books, and these books are upwards of $500+. You see, the true information of you know, what was hidden in history. You have to pay a lot of money to get these books, you know. And of course, our people, we not about to spend $500 on some old book just to get the truth, you know. Because as the old saying goes, if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book, okay? Because our people don't like to read, man. And the scriptures say, blessed is he that readeth, you know. So reading is very important, and you know, to study and show yourself approved, man. All right, so I'll just read this quick little excerpt here, you know, going into Queen Elizabeth II. Let's focus attention to the Tudor era in England and the numerous wives of Henry VIII, which Henry VIII was a so-called Negro, okay, with his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, daughter of the Catholic monarchs. Henry had a daughter named Mary Tudor who reigned as Queen of England and Ireland. Mary was described, this is the description, portly of body, yet was she of a swarthy complexion, and not very amiable, which occasioned the King of Spain, Philip II, another so-called Negro, a Jake, after the marriage to neglect her. You see? Another one, Bishop Stephen Gardiner served as Lord Chancellor to Mary and Philip and was described by George Cavendish as having a swarthy complexion. Now, swarthy is going to that definition of swarthy. Okay, we go into it a lot. Let me see here. Swarthy, dark skin. Okay, very simple definition, straight to the point. Being swarthy deals with the color or the complexion of the skin. Okay, and swarthy means dark skin. All right, no way to get around it. A swarthy complexion, hooked nose, deep set eyes, a permanent frown, huge hands, and a vengeful wit. And this is from the book The Life of Wolsey by George Cavendish. And the prior quote I read, The History of the Life, Bloody Reign, and Death of Queen Mary. And this book is from 1682. You see what I'm saying? These are very old books, but the truth is in it, man. Page 51. So, it gives you the sources of where to find this information. All right. And what you will find, okay, is that history has been severely whitewashed. Okay. Pretty much everything that you were taught in school has been white supremacy and lies. Sir Francis Walsingham was the principal secretary and spy master for Elizabeth I of England. She called him her Moor, and that's another thing, okay? The Moors, okay, ruled over Europe for 1,000 years. All right? It don't matter what European dynasty you want to talk about, the House of Tudor, the House of Tudor, the Habsburg dynasty, that was ruling in the Holy Roman Empire of Germany, you know what I'm saying? Poland, France, King Charlemagne, he was a so-called Moor, okay? But the contemporary information that they'll give you says otherwise, okay? But again, the information is in these books because of how black his complexion was. This gives insight into the various skin tones there were throughout Europe, with the term swarthy alone. Now, were there Edomites in Europe during this time? Yes, but they were the peasant class. Okay, they were the poor. All right, the lords and kings and queens were so-called Negroes. Okay, they were Israelites, Moors. All right. With the term swarthy alone, there were various shades of brown approaching complete blackness. While swarthy herself, Elizabeth would call Sir Francis her Moor because his complexion was completely black, not approaching black. She also called Thomas Butler, Earl of Ormond, her black husband because of his black complexion. He also called Duff by the Irish, okay, and the original Irish before the Edomites came in were Jakes, okay, the Anglo-Saxons, okay, that goes back to the angelic sons of Isaac, you see. So yeah, man, look, history, okay, just a few. House of Plantagenet, Louis XVI, King of France, King Edward III of England, all right, King Francis, Philip the Handsome, King of Castile. Look, man, Mary Medici, Queen of France, and she was actually known as the Black Queen, but they'll tell you that, oh, she was known as the Black Queen because her husband had died and she was a widow and she was vengeful or whatever the case may be. Okay, but this is Mary Medici, okay, Queen of France. All right, this is the true illustration, okay, but they give you a whitewashed image, okay, to distort history, man. You see, and we'll get this real quick, all right, because you have let me see where I can get this at. Okay, so King Offa, all right, now this was a Anglo-Saxon king, okay, during the Middle Ages, and this is the image that you'll see a lot of times. See, it says here, Offa, okay, Ker Offa, So this is you can tell how fake these images are. You can tell that these things were made long after the contemporary coinage was made. Okay, so once Esau Edom got back control in the Renaissance, he pretty much whitewashed and painted over everything. Okay, and put himself up as the kings, as the queens, as the knights. Okay, when he was none of that, he was the peasant. All right, he, Esau was a wild man. All right, so now we can go back here, okay, because this is the coinage that existed during the time of King Offa. This is a contemporary coin made during that time. You can see the curly hair, you can see the full lips, and it says here Rex, okay, which Rex, that goes back to the Latin and it means king, and it says Offa, Offa, so King Offa. All right, this is the Celtic cross. The coat of arms family name here. We can get another one. Same thing. Okay, look like he got dreads. You see, King Offa. And this is the whitewashed image. Okay, this is what they push to the masses, but that's not the truth, man. Okay, that's not the truth. It's a deliberate distortion of history. Again, King Augustus of Poland. Okay, European king during the 1700s. Okay, Augustus the Strong, King of Poland. According to the Museum of Ethnology, Dresden, the painting below depicts Augustus the Strong, King of Poland, and noblemen dressed as Moors. In other words, they want you to believe that they are in blackface, pretending to be black people. While blackface was not unheard of in Europe, I do think it would be strange to polish your arms and legs black. Add to that, they are not actually black skinned, but swarthy, you see? So again, this is King Augustus the Strong of Poland and his nobles riding with him. Okay, you can see these images here. Now they try to say this is blackface, but clearly this is not blackface, okay? They don't even have features of Edomites, okay? These are Moors, Negroes, you see? And this is the actual excerpt from a book here that goes into the complexion, the appearance of Frederick Augustus, King of Poland. It says, the present state, Saxony, Frederick Augustus II, King of Poland, and Elector of Saxony, was a prince of great stature, strength, and dexterity, of a swarthy but majestic countenance. He had an infinite fund of generosity, good nature, and politeness, which would have made him, I don't even know what that word is. Though he had not been a prince in the circle of the ladies, he seemed to be made to please them. His bulk and vigorous exercises required a supply of the creatures which would have overwhelmed weaker constitutions, for he delighted much in hunting, military exercises, and in giving proofs of his heroic strength. He was vested with, but did not seem to enjoy royalty. The high spiritedness, jealousy, and free constitution of the Poles rendered them a very difficult people to manage. Okay, so the point has pretty much been made. And when you look, so when you Google Augustus, King of Poland, these are the images that come up. Okay, now I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but this don't look like a swarthy person to me. Okay, this don't look swarthy. This looks very non-swarthy. This looks very pale. Okay, and you can tell these images are fake. These images were made, okay, long after these people lived to once again support that narrative. All right. So hey man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, which is Esau Edom, this is what he done. And look, all this is going to come out. All of these things are going to be exposed, and the devil as well, he's going to be exposed too. All right, so I'll close out with this. This is a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Now, Benjamin Franklin, he lived in the 1700s. He was one of the founding fathers, right? And this is what he wrote. It says, Louis Rumbaugh adds some valuable perspective to the immigration debate by citing some of Ben Franklin's thoughts on the horrors of the U.S. being overrun by German immigrants. Why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements, and by herding together establish their language and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens, who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of our anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can acquire our complexion? Which leads me to add one remark. that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionately very small. And let me get that real quick, because that's spiritual. Okay, that's in Obadiah. 1 second. Let me grab that scripture 1 second. Let me go to Obadiah. Okay, because it says in Obadiah that thou art small amongst the heathen concerning Edom. One second, one moment, Israel. Let me get this. Okay, this is Obadiah 1. I'll just start at 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. Now we know Edom, okay, or the so-called white race, the so-called white woman, man, and child. Concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. And Benjamin Franklin said what? The number of purely white people in the world is proportionately very small compared to what? Compared to the rest of the nations, the melanated people. You see that? I've made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. We know that the so-called white man, woman, and child are the original cave dwellers of the earth. Okay, the scriptures explicitly regard them as so. But I'll continue on. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia, chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of the newcomers, exclusive of the Edomites, wholly so. And in Europe, pay attention, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion. So they had a dark, all these nations mentioned were swarthy, dark skin. And this is during the time of Ben Franklin that he's writing this. This is in the 1700s. All right. So imagine during the Middle Ages. As are the Germans also, the Saxons only excepted, who with the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. And that wasn't even always the case. Okay, the Saxons, when you go back to the Middle Ages, okay, they were swarthy, dark-skinned people. Though you know, those were Jakes. Okay, King James, you know, he was a swarthy man. You know, he was an Israelite. Okay. Let me read on. So he said that the Germans are swarthy as well. Okay, the English, the principal body of white people, I could wish their numbers were increased. And while we are, as I may call it, scouring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making the side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of inhabitants in Mars and Venus, why should we, in the sight of superior beings, darken its people? Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and tawnies? Now that's a true Edomite right there, man. Okay, those are the words of a true Edomite. By excluding all blacks and tawnies of increasingly the lovely white and red. See? So he even look, man, you can't make this up. Okay, Benjamin Franklin in his own letter called so-called white people red. And Esau, what color did he come out? Red all over, like an hairy garment. You can't make this up. It's spiritual. All right? So that's pretty much the point on that. But through this whole lesson, okay, you should get the point that history is, or should I say the history that the Edomite has given the masses, is nothing but complete lies and BS. All right. If you want to know the real truth, you have to get into the older books. Okay. Because you know, even if you go on the internet, you know, you'll find a lot of false information. Like it's very hard to find good sources on the you know, swarthy kings, and you know, the true depictions of the Israelites. It's very hard to find these things. You have to get the books. All right, so you got to do your own research and due diligence on that. All right, but Elder Malcolm, he goes into this like on the regular, you know. And I'll close out on this in Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage. Because why did we lose our heritage? See, why did we go into captivity? Why was Esau allowed to destroy us in that way? Well, because we disobeyed the Heavenly Father. Okay, we did not hold up our end of the contract, so therefore the curses came upon us, and losing our heritage, being subject to our enemies, was a part of those curses. And though even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. So the reason why these things happen to us is because we made the Lord angry and he punished us. And we're still under punishment to this very day. All right, our punishment is coming to an end. But when you look at history and all of what happened to the Lord's people, this is the reason why. And ultimately, all of this happened for us to learn that, being obedient to the voice of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is very important. That, the ways of the Lord lead to life, So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this lesson here. Hopefully this was edifying and informative through the Rakah Kedash. In closing, call halal, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kedash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect.